Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be starting a topic, not really a topic per se, but it's a topical series. We'll be considering different topics on WAEC questions, but this time around we'll be starting with quadratic equation. We'll be picking different quadratic equation questions from past WAEC questions, so we'll be solving them different years. But on this series we'll be concentrating on quadratic equation. On other series we'll be talking on other WAEC questions. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, kindly do that by subscribing to my Simple Maths. Kindly press the notification bell, help like our video, share any of our video if you want more of this type of video. But on this we'll be concentrating on WAEC questions for different years on quadratic equation. So in our subsequent series we'll be considering other topics. So as you can see on the screen, we have WAEC questions on quadratic equation. So we'll be starting with 2020 WAEC question 13b. That question on question 13b for that particular year is a quadratic equation question. And before we go further, we would like to tell you that you have a whole lot of method of solving quadratic equation, but basically, we have the completing the square method, we have the factorization method, we have solving quadratic equation by formula method, we have graphical method. There are some other methods, but these are the basic methods. So we'll be focusing our attention on quadratic equation for this topical series. Now, WAEC 2020 question 13b says, using the method of completing the square method, solve 4x squared minus 4 root 3x plus 3 equals 0, leaving your answer in short form. This particular question, it is clearly stated the method you should use. If you are not given any method, you can use any method that suits you. But this question says clearly using the method of completing the square. That is what the question says. So you are not to use any other method. So let's solve. Using completing the square method. Now, if you have not seen our topic on completing the square method in our YouTube channel, kindly go and check it out. We've taken our time to explain this method clearly. Different method of solving quadratic. We have completing the square method there. We have factorization. We have different method there. If you have not seen any of our video on quadratic equation, kindly see that. But for this video, we will be picking WAEC questions. That is the major thing we have to do. Now, the question is 4x squared minus 4 root 3x plus 3 equals 0. Now, for completing the square method, this is the first thing you are going to do. What you have here at this extreme end here, you ensure you bring it out. That is the method. You bring it what? Out. Now that is what we have done. So we have plus 3 here. The moment it crosses the equality sign, it changes to what? Minus 3. That's the first step. The second step is to ensure the coefficient of your s square. You can use any letter, be it y or z or x. But this one that is carrying square, we want to ensure the coefficients remains 1. And the only way you can do that is to divide through by any number you have with this s squared. This time around, the coefficient of s squared is what? Is 4. So we are going to divide through by 4 so that this place can be 1. So we divide this place by 4. 4s squared divided by 4. We move here. Here we have 4 root 3x. We divide it by 4 as well. And here we have minus 3. We divide it by what? By 4. The reason why we are doing that is because we have 4 here. So by the time we divide all by 4, by implication, it means our 4 that we have here, we cancel the 4 that we have here. That's the meaning. So here we'll be left with what? S squared minus 4 root 3x over 4 equals to minus 3 over 4. But this time around, we still have 4 here. So this 4 also can cancel out this 4 that we have here. Beautiful. Had it been they cannot cancel out, we'll leave it. But since it's 4, 4, we can also cancel it out. So here we are now left with what? S square minus root 3x equal minus 3 over 4. That is the completing the square method we are applying. Now the next step is this. You need to be very careful at this junction. Now look at this. What you have at the middle here is what? Minus root 3x. Now the coefficient of x here now is what? Minus root 3. Any number you have at the middle here, look for the half, then square it, then add it to what you have on the left hand side there and what you have on the right hand side there. Let me repeat that again. You can check our video on completing the square method on this YouTube channel. What you have at the middle here, the coefficient of x here, any number, look for the half. The half of minus root 3 now is what? Minus root 3 over 2. That's the half. You square it. This is the square. So anything you have, you add it to what you have on the left hand side. Look at this. This is the what we are considering. The half is minus root 3 over 2. So we add it to this place. This is what we have done. We square it. Then we add it to this right hand side as well. This is what we have done. We square it. Beautiful. So let's deal with what we have on the right hand side. Now, root 3 over 2 square. It means in two places. So we have it here and here. Beautiful. So if you now say you are multiplying in short form, let's say root 3 times root 3 will give you what? 3. Then 2 times 2 will give you what? 4. Minus times minus will give you what? Plus. But we have plus here already. Beautiful. So we still maintain what we have on the left hand side. So let's solve this. Minus 3 over 4 plus 3 over 4 will definitely cancel out. If you look for the LCM, whichever way you think you can do it, this minus 3 over 4 will cancel out this plus 3 over 4. Beautiful. So you are left with what here? 0. Awesome. Now, the next step. Since we are left with 0 here, this is the next step in completing the square method. What you have here, you have your s square here. This one has square. This one also has square. Just bring out what you have here, which is the x. This is it. Bring out what you have here, which is the what? Minus root 3 over 2. This is it. Because both of them are square, then you bring out the square. That's all. Equals 0. That is the next step. So, now, having done that, we want to remove this square. How will you do that? You square root both sides. You square root here and square root here. Plus or minus. So that our square can cancel out the what? The square root. Beautiful. So we'll be left with what? X minus root 3 over 2 plus or minus 0. Because square root of 0 is still 0. So we have to leave it in short form. So if we transfer what we have here, minus root 3 over 2 out here, this minus will change to what? Plus. So if we say minus root 3 over 2 out, it will change to what? Root 3 over 2. We have to leave the answer in short form. You can always pause, rewind this video to get clearer understanding about the explanation. Let's move to the next question. WAEC 2019 question 11b. WAEC 2019 question 11b. Given that 2 and minus 3 are the roots of the equation as squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Whenever you see equation like this, that should tell you that this is a quadratic equation. Find the value of a, b, and c. You are given that 2 and minus 3 are the root of the equation. You are been given the root of the equation already. That's the final answer. of this equation, you have to look for the value of A, B, and C. So what are we going to do? First thing first. Now, since the root of the equation is what? 2 and minus 3, and we are using x, is x that is the alphabet in the question. So we say our x is equals to 2, or x is equals to what? Minus 3. That's the root of the equation. By implication, it means if you say x minus 2, if you bring this 2 in here, you know this is plus, it will be what? Minus equals 0. Or x plus 3, if you bring this minus 3 here, it will be plus equals 0. Now, it means x minus 2 equals 0, or x plus 3 equals 0. That's what we have here. Therefore, x minus 2, x plus 3 equals 0. Beautiful. Now, look at this. If you open up this bracket, you have x times x will give you x square. X times 3 will give you what? Plus 3x. Minus 2 times x will give you what? Minus 2x. Minus 2 times 3 will give you what? Minus 6 equals 0. Beautiful. So, something is common here. We have 3x minus 2x here. So, if you say 3x minus 2x will give you x. Because 3x minus 2x, you can still say it's 1x. But in mathematics, we don't put 1x or 1 something. So, we can just leave it as x. So, we say, it's just like saying 3 minus 2 will give you 1. So, 3x minus 2x will give you what? 1x. Or you say x. Beautiful. So, we have x squared plus x. We have minus 6 equals 0. Awesome. Mere looking at this, this is a quadratic equation. Beautiful. But the question says we should do what? Look for the value of A, B, and C. Look at this. We have this already. X squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. So if you now compare A squared plus BX plus C equals 0 with what we have here, by implication, our A will be this. Look at this. Because we have our s square here. This is the s square. So our A will be the coefficient of s square here, which is what? 1. Beautiful. Our A is 1. Now we have BX here. We have x here. So the coefficient of s here is what? Is 1. So our B will be what? 1. Awesome. And our C, which we have here, will be what? Minus 6. So our A is 1. Our B is 1. And our C is what? Minus 6. That's our final answer. Question number 2A in WAEC question 2018. WAEC 2018. Question number 2A. The question says the graph of y equals 2ps square minus p square x minus 14 passes through the point 3 and 10. The question says find the value of what? Of p. Now, mere looking at this, you know it's a quadratic equation question. Awesome. So, what are we going to do? We've been given the point in which the graph passes through, which is 3 and 10. We have to find the value of p in this question. Now, what are we going to do? We'll bring out this question out. Now, at points 3 and 10, that the graph of this equation passes through, it means our x will be 3 and our y will be 10. Awesome. X will be 3 hours. So, all we just need to do is to impute the value of our x, which is 3, and the value of our y, which is 10, into this equation. Beautiful. So, let's bring out the equation that we have. This is it. Y equals 2ps squared minus p squared x minus 14. So, anywhere we see x, we put 3, which is this. Anywhere we see y, we put what? 10. Awesome. So, this is our y. We put 10. 2ps squared. This is our x. We put 3. Our p square x. This is our x. Anywhere we see y, we put 10. Anywhere we see x, we put 3. This is x. This is 3 minus 14. So, let's open it up. We have 10 equals to 2p. 3 square will give us what? 9. That's 3 times 3. Minus p squared 3 minus 14. Awesome. So, we now have 10 equals. So, if you say 2p times 9, it's just like saying 2 times 9 will give us 18. 18p minus, this is p squared 3, is still the same thing as 3p squared, equals 14. So, awesome. So, all the value we have here, let's bring it inside the equality sign. Beautiful. So we have our 10 here already. This is it. So this is plus 18p. If it crosses the equality sign, it changes to minus 18p. This is minus 3p squared. If it crosses the equality sign, it changes to plus 3p squared. This is minus 14. If it crosses the equality sign, it changes to what? Plus 14 equals 0. Awesome. So everything in there. So we now have, let's try and see if we can collect our like terms. We have 3p squared here minus 18p. We have plus 14 and we have plus 10. Look at it. This is plus 10. We have it here. So our 3p squared minus 18p. 14 plus 10 will give us what? 24 equals 0. Awesome. So this is a quadratic equation. Now, the question just asks us to do what? Let's check. To find the value of p. Beautiful. So we have our quadratic equation here. Since we are not asked to use any method, let's factorize. Let's use factorization method. Awesome. So doing that, if you have not seen factorization method on quadratic equation, kindly check our YouTube channel. You will understand better. But let's quickly do that as well. Now in factorization method, you take the value, the number, the parameter you have at your extreme left and your extreme right. You multiply it together. That will give you your product. Any parameter you have in the middle, at the middle, that will give you your what? Your sum. That's factorization method. So let's go. 3p squared times 24 will give us what? 72p squared. That's our product. Then our sum will be what? Minus 18p. That's what we have here. Now, product simply means you are going to look for two numbers. If you multiply those two numbers together, it will give you what? 72p squared. That same number, if you add it together, it will give you what? Minus 18p. So what are the numbers? You've made your job easier here. The numbers are minus 12p and minus 6p. Let's test run it. So if you say these two numbers, this and this, if we multiply it, will it give us this? This same number, this and this, if we add it, will it give us this? Let's try and see. Now, let's start. Minus times minus, that will give us plus. You know we have plus here already. So 12 times 6, that will give us what? 72. Awesome. Then p times p, that will give us what? P squared. So minus 12p times minus 6p will give us what? 72p squared. This number has worked out for our product. So let's test run the same number for our sum. Let's go. Minus 12p minus 6p. Awesome. That will give us minus 18p. Beautiful. So these are our two numbers. We just impute it in our equation that we have here. So let's go. We have 3p squared. Awesome. We have 3p squared minus 18p plus 24 equals 0. So let's impute these two numbers that we've gotten in between here. So we have 3p squared. This is it. Minus 12p minus 6p that we have here. Instead of this minus 18p, we impute our two numbers. Plus 24 equals 0. So we are factorizing. Let's go. So just bring out all you have here. Put into brackets those ones at this end. Awesome. Put into brackets those ones at this end, considering the sign, such that if you open the bracket, you will still have what you have here. Okay, let's test run and see. This is 3p squared minus 12p. Now let's open this bracket. Minus times 6p will give us what? Minus 6p. Minus times minus 24, that will give us what? Plus 24. Don't forget, we have invisible 1 here, but because we don't represent 1 as such, so if you open up this bracket, you have this. Awesome. Now let's factorize what we have here. What is common here? 3p is here. We can get 3p here as well. Beautiful. So we'll bring it out. So if we remove 3p here, we'll be left with only 1p. Minus, if you remove 3p here, we'll be left with 4. Because if you open up this bracket, 3p times p will give you 3p squared. 3p times minus 4 will give us what? 12p. Awesome. So if you open up this bracket now, what is common? We have 6 here, we have 6 here. Awesome. So if you bring out 6 here, what will be left here? P. If you bring out 6 here, what will be left here? 4. Because if you say minus 6 times p, you have what we have here. If you say minus 6 times 4, you have what we have here. So now, if you are factorizing, something should give you a signal. What you have in your first bracket here will be the same with what you have in your second bracket here. That means your factorization is correct. So just bring out what you have here, 3p minus 6. This is the 3p minus 6. What you have outside here and what you have outside here. Bring it out, equals 0. Now, because p minus 4 is still the same thing as p minus 4, just bring out 1, p minus 4. Beautiful. So your 3p minus 6 equals 0, or p minus 4 equals 0. Awesome. So we want to make p the subject of the formula. Just divide both sides by what? By 3. So that your p can stand alone. So you just say, because this 3p minus 6, this minus 6 has gone out, it will be plus 6 that you have here. So if you divide both sides by what? By 3 here. You now say 3p divided by 3, 6 divided by 3. Such that this, your 3 will have cancelled out. So you now have 6 here, 1, 6, sorry, 3 here, 1, then 3 here, 2. Beautiful. So your p will be what? 2. Your p will be 2. Yeah, this is your p minus 4. If your minus 4 goes out, it will be what? Plus 4. So your p will now be what? 2, or p equals 4. That is what the question asks from us. The question says we should find the value of p. That is the solution to WAEC question 2A in 2018. Let's move straight to the next one. We have WAEC question for 2017, question 12A. 2017, question 12A. Using completing the square method, this one is stated categorically. Solve correct to 2 decimal places the equation 3y squared minus 5y plus 2 equals 0. Awesome. Now, by now we know how to use our completing the square method. If you have not seen different methods of quadratic equation, including completing the square method, kindly check our YouTube channel, My Simple Math. So this is the question. 3y squared minus 5y plus 2 equals 0. Now, the first thing first, if you remember the way we handle the first one, we bring out what we have here at this extreme right out first. So we have plus 2 here, we bring it out to what? Minus 2. That's what we have here. The second step is to ensure the coefficient of anything we have here, we turn it to 1. How are we going to do that? We divide through by the coefficient of y squared that we have here. Now this is 3y squared minus 5y equals minus 2. So for this our y squared, for the coefficient to be 1, we divide all through by what? By 3. We divide here by 3, we divide here by 3, we divide here by 3, such that this 3 can cancel out this 3. Awesome. So what's the next thing? We now have the coefficient of our y squared to be what? To be 1 already. So we are left with y squared here minus 5y over 3 equals minus 2 over 3. What's the next thing? Now if you recollect, we said anything you have at the middle, look for the what? Half, and square it, then add it to both sides, the left hand side and the right hand side. Let's quickly do that. Now we have minus 5 over 3 at the middle here. Now minus 5 over 3 at the middle, we look for the half. What do we mean? Let's quickly do something here. If we say minus 5 over 3, the half, let's do something here so that you can understand what we are trying to do. It is very easy anyway. If you say minus 5 over 3, we just quickly want to do something here. Minus 5 over 3. If you have that, multiply by half. Okay, let's just try and see half as awesome. So we want to get the half of this. That's what we want to do. This minus 5 over 3, we want to get the half. So, beautiful. Awesome. So we now have 5 over 3 of 1 over 2. We want to get the half. So if we say 5 times 1, it will give us 5. 3 times 2, it will give us 6. So the half of, so we just try to do this, that will not get ourselves confused. This is not part of what we are doing, but this is just a rough work. So the half of 5 over 3 is what? 5 over 6. Look at it, 5 over 3. The half times 1 over 2. So if you say 5 times 1, it will give us what? 5. 3 times 2, it will give us what? 6. So that's just the half. This is just a rough work. So let's forge ahead. So we get the half of what we have here. So the half of 5 over 3 is what? 5 over 6. This is our minus. We now add it to both our left hand side. This is adding it here. And to our right hand side, then we square both sides. You can pause and rewind this explanation over and over again. So let's move ahead. So we've been able to get the half of minus 5 over 3 and square it. We add it to left hand side, to our right hand side. Beautiful. So let's forge ahead. So let's solve our right hand side. So minus 5 over 6 square is still the same thing as saying this twice. So 5 square will give us what? 25. 6 square will give us what? 36. Minus times minus will give us what? Plus. We have plus here already. Awesome. Solving our right hand side. If you say the LCM of 3 and 36 will give us what? 36. How many times will 3 go in 36? That is 12 times. 12 times 2 will give us what? 24. We have minus here already. How many times 36 will go in 36? Just once. 1 times 25 is 25. Awesome. So, having done that, we ensure we solve our right hand side completely first. So, we'll still repeat all we have here. So, our LCM is 36 minus 24 plus 25. It's just like saying 25 minus 24. It will give us what? 1. Having done that, now, this is the next step. Take your y, because this one is having square, this one is also having square. Those two that are having square, bring it out. This is your y. This is your minus 5 over 6. Because two of them are having square, you bring out the square. Awesome. So equals to 1 over 36. That is the method, because we have to use completing the square method. Beautiful. So you are left with what? Y minus 5 over 6 square equals to 1 over 36. So you square root both sides. You want to remove this square. You do what? You square root both sides, such that this square will cancel out this square root. You will now be left with what? Y minus 5 over 6 equal plus or minus square root of 1 is 1, and square root of 36 is what? 6. You'll be left with what? 1 over 6 here. Awesome. Because you have plus or minus here. Now let's go. Y, because you have minus here, if you transfer this minus 5 over 6 out, it will be what? Plus 5 over 6. Because it has crossed the what? The equality sign. So we will now be left with y equals 5 over 6 plus or minus 1 over 6. You know what this plus or minus means? You solve the plus first, then you solve the minus second. So we are left with what? Y equals 5 over 6 plus 1 over 6, or y equals 5 over 6 minus 1 over 6. Beautiful. LCM of 6 and 6 is 6. 6 in 6 will give us 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 6 in 6 will give us 1. 1 times 1 is 1. The same thing here. 6 in 6 will give us 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Minus 6 in 6 will give us 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Beautiful. So here you see 5 plus 1 will give us what? 6 over 6. Or 5 minus 1 will give us 4. All over. We have over 6 here, which is our LCM, ab initio. So y will now equal 6 divided by 6 is what? 1. Or we are left with what? Y equals 4 over 6 here. Now, don't forget, the question states categorically that you should what? Solve this correct to 2 decimal places. Correct to 2 decimal places. So our answer here is 1 or 0.67. Because we have to put it in 2 decimal places, just put 0.00 to 2 decimal places, 0.67 to 2 decimal places. Beautiful. Question 7A of year 2016. Question 7A of year 2016. Awesome. The question says, using completing the square method, solve correct to 2 decimal places. Now, since it has been stated using completing the square method, that should not give you much stress. By now, you should know that this is a quadratic equation because they are saying using completing the square method. So just bring out the question first. Beautiful. So what you do first is to what? Is to cross multiply. I'm sure you still remember what cross multiplication means. You are multiplying what you have at the numerator here with what you have at the denominator here, and you are multiplying what you have at the denominator here with what you have at the numerator here. Beautiful. So let's quickly do that, our cross multiplication. So we have our 2x multiplied by x minus 2 that we have here. We have our 4 multiplied by x plus 2. When you open the bracket, 2x times x will give you 2x squared. 2x times minus 2 will give you minus 4x equals 4 times x will give you 4x. 4 times 2 will give you what? 8. Awesome. So just bring out everything you have here. You bring it in here. Then the sign will change. 2x squared minus 4x. You have plus 4x here. If it crosses the equality sign, it changes to minus 4x. You have plus 8s here. Plus 8 here, sorry. If it crosses the equality sign, it changes to what? Minus 8 equals 0. Some things are common here. We have 2x squared minus 4x minus 4x will give us what? Minus 8x. Then we have minus 8 here equals 0. Since we have to use completing the square method, our job has been clearly cut out. So let's use our completing the square as usual. First thing first, we bring out what we have here out. So we have minus 8 here, we bring it out, it changes to plus 8. That's the first step. The second step is to ensure this our s squared, the coefficient becomes 1. By now, you must have been used to this. So how are we going to do that? We divide through by 2 so that the coefficient of s squared here can be what? Can be 1. Awesome. So if we divide here, if you divide here by 2, here by 2, here by 2, we have what we have here, so that these 2 can cancel out these 2. This one can also cancel. 2 here, 1, 2 here will be what? 4. Awesome. By implication, we have s squared minus, we are left with 4 here, 4x. 8 divided by 2 also can give us what? 4. So we have 2 here, 1, 2 here, 4. Beautiful. So we are left with what? S squared minus 4x equals 4. As usual, what we have at the middle here, we get the half. We square it and add it to both sides. That is how we've been doing our completing the square method. So what do we have here? We have minus 4. Half of minus 4 is what? Minus 2. You square it. This is the half. You square it and add it to this side. You add it to this side also. If you have been following, you can always pause and rewind for better clarification and understanding. Okay, then we solve our right hand side. Minus 2 squared will definitely give us 4 because 2 times 2 will give us what? 4. Minus times minus will give us what? Plus. Beautiful. So 4 plus 4 here will give us what? 8. The next step, as usual, this one has a square, this one has a square. So we bring it out. X, look at it. Then this minus 2, look at it. Then we just put the square because square is common to both sides. How are we going to remove this square? We just square root both sides. We square root both sides such that we square root here, we square root here. So that our square can cancel out the square root. Beautiful. We'll be left with what? X minus 2 here. Plus or minus square root of 8. We are almost there. So we now say we transfer our what? Minus 2 out here. It will change to what? Plus 2, because it has crossed the equality sign. So we are left with what? X equals 2 plus or minus square root of 8. Because it is plus or minus, we do plus here, we do minus here. So we now say 2 plus square root of 8 or 2 minus square root of 8. So if you punch your calculator, square root of 8 will give you what? 2.83. So we now say 2 plus 2.83 will give us what? 4.83. Or 2 minus 2.83 will give us what? Minus 0.83. Because we are asked to leave our answer in what? 2 decimal places. Awesome. 2014 question 10a. The question says solve x minus 2 into brackets x minus 3 equals 12. When you look at this, because if you open it up, this will definitely give you a quadratic equation. You are just asked to solve. So when you open up this bracket, you have x times x will give you a square, x times minus 3 will give you what? Minus 3x, minus 2 times s will give you what? Minus 2x, minus 2 times minus 3 will give you what? Plus 6 equals 12. Now, look at this. Something is common here. You have s square minus 3x minus 2x will give you what? Minus 5x plus 6 equals 12. Mere looking at this, it's forming quadratic equation already. Now just bring in this your 12 inside, the sign will change. So you have s square minus 5x plus 6 minus 12 equals 0. Awesome. Because you have something is common here. Plus 6 minus 12 will give you what? Minus 6. It's just like saying minus 12 plus 6 will give you what? Minus 6. So you are left with what? S square minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Because the question says you solve, and now you are having a quadratic equation, you can use any method that suits you. But let's use factorization method. As usual, you multiply what you have on your extreme left and on your extreme right together. That will give you your product. You say s squared times minus 6 will give you what? Minus 6s squared. What you have at the middle is your sum. That will give you what? Minus 5x. This is it. Now you look for two numbers such that if you multiply those two numbers, it will give you minus 6s squared. If you add them, it will give you what? Minus 5x. So what are the two numbers? The job has been done here for you, but let's test run what we have. Minus 6x times 1x. You know I said it earlier. We don't use 1x or 1 something, but just for clarification and understanding, here we'll put it. So minus 6x times minus 1x. Minus times plus will definitely give us minus. 6 times 1 will give us 6. X times s will give us s squared. Now let's test run it for the sum. Minus 6s plus 1x is just like saying minus 6 plus 1. It will give us minus 5x. So our two numbers are ready. So what we'll just do is just to impute these our two numbers, this and this, into our equation. This is our equation. X squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. So in between here, instead of our minus 5x, we just impute minus 6x plus 1x or plus x as the case may be. So we have it here, s squared minus 6x plus x minus 6 equals 0. We just impute those two parameters we have here in between here. That's all. So just bracket what you have here and bracket what you have here, considering the sign. So we've done that. S squared minus 6s plus x minus 6, considering the sign, such that if you open up this bracket back, you have what you have here. So let's factorize. What is common here? We have x here, we have x here. So we'll bring it out. So what is left if you bring out x here? We'll be left with x. What will be left if you bring out x here? We'll have minus 6. The same thing here. What is common? 1 is common here, because if you bring out 1 here, you still be left with what? X minus 6. Awesome. like I said earlier, to be sure that your factorization is correct, what will be in bracket here will still be the same thing as what will be in the bracket here. So we now say, just bring out what you have outside. X plus 1. This is it. X plus 1 equals 0. Just bring out 1 here because the two are the same. X minus 6 equals 0. Awesome. So if you now say, if you bring out this plus 1 out, it will be minus 1. If you bring out this minus 6 out, it will be what? 6 plus 6. So your x is equals minus 1 or x equals 6. Awesome. So that is our final answer. Beautiful. I'm sure you have enjoyed this topical series on quadratic equation. This topical series is all about bringing out WAEC questions from different years on a particular topic. This video has clearly explained to us quadratic equation from different years of WAEC question. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, My Simple Maths, and activate the notification button so that you can always get notification from us whenever we post a new video. And help us like any of our video, share any of our video. Thank you.